Good evening to you and welcome to our evening crafting. This is Jenny McCormack from Jemini Crafts and I'm delighted to welcome you to our crafting this evening on Facebook. I'm based in Brackley, Northamptonshire in the UK. If you are joining me live, do say hi so that I know that you're there and can include you in our discussion. If you're watching later on catch up or on YouTube and you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to pop those in the comment section and I will answer those and get back to you in due course. It's been a lovely day today. We've had a few showers, but other than that it's been nice and dry. And this week, if you've been watching, we've been using the In Symmetry stamp set with the matching Sweet Symmetry papers. Hi Katie and hi Carol. And what I wanted to do today was introduce you to the punch that goes with it. This is a border punch. It's £15 and it punches out these two sets of leaves, and they are of course symmetrical, hence the name. They're similar to but don't match the leaves in the stamp set, so it's this type of design, but there's only two sets of double leaves and a single leaf at the tip. Hi Jeanette. So don't expect it to be cutting these out. However, it is a really useful border punch. Something I like to do with all of my punches, and especially the border punches, is punch down a piece of card, and that allows me then to measure the distance between any of the punched items that are coming out, so that if I'm trying to fit, for example, an element on here and I want to see how many I can fit on, obviously I can use this, but I can't see how much of a border I've got. So what I like to do is start at one end and stamp a complete border. Hi Moretta. So I'm just going to start here at roughly at the top. It doesn't really matter where I start, and the two items that it punches out are these two here. See, these are perfect little sprigs. They could also be antlers, sort of, for reindeer. But what you'll see on the base of the punch, although it's, I don't know how easy it is for you to see that. Let me move that out of the way because of the reflection. It's got a picture of the punch items here. So what that allows you to do is pop your next piece of card in, or your card in, and then move the card down so that the holes in the card line up on the pattern. Now if you've used Stampin' Up punches or border punches before, you will recognize that technique, but if you haven't done, it means you can get them in a complete line and they're all exactly correctly spaced. So I'm just going to do that. So I'm going to put my next my piece of card in further along, and then I'm going to do the same thing till I meet the next junction, and there. So that gives me my border here. Also gives me lots of little sprigs, which I'm going to put in a little pot and keep. What that allows me to do is, if I've got a card, I can then see how much of that border is going to show on a card. So this is not what I would do for this one, is I would punch 1, 2, 3, 4 and leave a border either side if I wanted this border going down the side of my card. The temptation would be to start in the middle okay, which you could do, but then you've got a cutout at the end of your card. Does that make sense? You've got a sort of little hollow piece. So I tend to do that and then keep it in with my punches. And it also means if I've got, for example, a tag, I can put that on there and work out where that piece is going to come up. Obviously I'm not going to punch it out this particular tag, but I have got an idea with this tag. So that's quite a useful thing to do. You can just trim this off, and sometimes what I will do, if I'm feeling very organised, is I will measure those and just write the measurements on, so I know that 4 is a certain amount, 3 is a certain amount, and 2 is a certain amount. It's not rocket science. You could just put it on a piece of grid paper, obviously, and this is the, well, it's not quite the edge, but I would then know from there that a complete set is 2.5 inches, so 5 inches will give me obviously 2 complete sets. So this is useful if I wanted to create a border on my card. I would know that if I had one 5 inches, I would be able to get both sets of punches in there. So I hope that makes some sense. So I'm just going to trim this down and keep this to hand. So I hope everybody's had a good day. I trust everybody's happy with the football result, if you've been watching that, assuming you are rooting for England, that is, of course. So this in itself makes a really nice border that you could use down the side of a card, okay, like so. So you could trim this down. Obviously, as I said, if I was using that, I would just done 2 complete sets like so. But what I have in mind, and this is one of those that's again is in my head, which is slightly dangerous, but earlier in the week, let me see, earlier being probably only yesterday, it was only yesterday, I made this card. Oh, good for you, Carol. I would have known that anyway. So this is made out of strips of paper, and I also made this one from the same set, just a little tag with some other tags behind it. So what I thought would be quite nice, if it works, is a panel, and I might have to go to this size of panel and make this smaller, is put my tag on a cutout panel. Let me just borrow this one for the minute, like so, have a sentiment underneath, and then have a cutout of the 2 leaves at the bottom, so that you see this layer underneath, so it almost becomes a border in its own right, but just across the bottom. So that is my plan. So actually what I'm going to do is sort of start backwards and place this, which just happened to be an offcut out of my drawer, into my punch, okay, and I'm just going to push it right up against this piece here and then just centralize it in the panel like so. So when you do one punch, you'll just get the 2 sets of leaves. As I say, I'm keeping all of these. I've got some other colours here, so I'll put this in one of our little jam jars. We've got these lovely cute little jam jars, and I'm just going to put these in here, and then I'll label that up. You could also use one of the little embellishment pots or a cellophane bag or something. So let me put those in there. This is perfect also for making wreaths out of. So what I have in mind is something like this. So I'm going to have a panel here that's going to look out onto this card behind. I'm going to have a small sentiment and then my tag with some ribbon maybe at the top, and that's going to create a panel. It would also work with this panel, because this one goes the other way, the way that I've cut it out from the sheet, and I could put a border on this side as well and a sentiment across the middle. Ooh, I might try that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is pop my tag on here, work out roughly where I want this border to go so I know if I've got enough space. Okay, just mark this with a pencil like so, and I'm going to cut that, and then I'm going to trim just a little bit off each edge because I don't want too much. So let me grab my trimmer. So those of you that have ordered my Give It a Whirl class in a box, all of the boxes are currently sat in my lounge ready to go, so they will be posted tomorrow, and they'll go out first class so that we're ready for our class on Saturday for those that are able to join us for our live session, and the videos will be there probably Thursday, but definitely by Friday. Okay, so I know that this was central, so I'm going to do exactly the same. Position this against the border punch, and I'm just doing it by sight. There we go. So I've got 2 equal pieces. Put this up like that. So my tag is going to fit in here. So what I'm going to do now is just trim this down a little bit. So I've got a little bit, it's a bit narrow, otherwise it's a bit overpowering. So I'm just going to take half a centimetre off there, and I didn't do any measuring for this other than working out where my leaves are going to go. There we go. Let's have a look at that. Let's take this out of the way for the minute. And I've got a Calypso Coral card base because I want to keep this all together in terms of colour. So just grab my bone folder like so. And what I might do is I could put this piece through an embossing folder or put some patterned paper behind this. Let me have a quick look. As we use some of our Brights patterned paper, let's see if I've got any Calypso Coral left. Or just jade left or something. Doesn't look like it. No. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp on that background to make it look a little bit more interesting. What I could do is put this piece through an embossing folder. That would also work. I'm going to have a little sliver on here with my sentiment. I could angle it slightly if I wanted to, but I want this sort of cutout effect. That's what I'm after. So what I might do is use the leaf images, this similar one here, as my background, because I haven't used those yet in any of our cards that we made this week and last week. So I've got both of those, and I've got Calypso Coral. So we're going to do tone on tone, which will make it just very slightly darker on here. So just going to ink this up, try it on my paper. It's lovely. And I'm just going to add these going around, and I actually may not use both sets of stamps, just going to stamp this just in different directions, like so. Bearing in mind that this card is going to be in landscape. There we go. So stamping across the top. These are really pretty stylized leaves as well. Varying the height, but in each case there, apart from all of them, they've started off the page. I might have turned them around, but they actually start off the edge of the page. So all right, let's have a look and see what that looks like. So this is our cutout, and then we've got that. Now to me that looks that doesn't look as good with that stamping behind. This is fine, I'm happy with that, but I might just put something behind my leaves to make them stand out a little bit more. Just going to add a few bits here. There. Such a pretty background. And this would be perfect wreath stamping, wouldn't it, on the Stamparatus. There we go. So I'm thinking what I might do is put a piece of bumblebee behind here, because that's the other colour in the paper. So grab my yellows. Let's see if I've got a piece of bumblebee. There we go. So this is going to sit behind, because otherwise it looks, you can't see the outline shape in my mind. Hi Tracy. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're okay and having a good week. So what I'm going to do is just mark this and that like that, and just use those guidelines for cutting. So I haven't really done any measuring at all on this one. So I'm going to cut this piece here, and the majority of this is going to be hidden behind anyway, and I've just made sure it's obviously smaller than the pattern. There we go. Our week's going good. That's what we like to hear, Tracy. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put these panels behind. So it doesn't have to take a great deal of weight or anything. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of glue around the edges here. Oops. Just to hold it in place. Woo! That was a little bit close, wasn't it? Didn't leave myself much to play with. That's fine. There we go. So that's going to be my panel that's going to sit on there, and then this one is my tag, so I'm going to bring that all together, and I'm going to add a little sentiment on here on a little strip. I just yes, just going to use a strip of card if I could find one. Here we go, and you'll have some here somewhere. So I've got assorted strips that have been cut off, so I know that they're nice and well, they should be nice and level. And so I'm going to put this across here. So my favourite to use for nice narrow sentiments is this one, Blossoms in Bloom, because you've got all of these. I think I might get away actually with thinking of you a slightly bigger one there, but then I don't actually want to cut too much off, so maybe I'll just make another thank you. Why not? So I'll do that in Calypso Coral on the white, and then just attach that. So I showed you yesterday how to do that tag, and I posted a picture this afternoon, so if you haven't seen that one and you'd like to, there's a YouTube link, or you can just pop back through my Facebook page and look for it from yesterday. So I'm just going to cut this at a jaunty angle. Like so. Because the jaunty angle is so much easier. So it's going to go on there like that. I think I'll do this one flat and put it on dimensionals onto there. So I'm just going to use a little bit of glue. And I'm going to put it along this sort of centre line here. Like so. Tempted to put this through an embossing folder to give it a little bit more texture of this piece here. Let me see what I have just to hand. Right, I've got Tasteful Textile, which is technically retired, but it's just what I have to hand, so I'm just going to use this. I don't want to overcomplicate it. I don't want to add, you know, leaves and things too much. Let me just pop that through the die cutting machine. Just need to move the dog slightly. Sorry, Cassie. See, right, sorry to keep you waiting. So Tuesday night, week's going quickly as always. I haven't got the right combination of plates. Let me just look for my spare plate. I hesitate to say I put it somewhere safe. Oh, it's there. Sorry, ladies. It was hidden by the dog. That's my excuse. Right, thanks for moving, Cassie. Right. We're in business. Right. Sorry about that. That's the only problem when you do things ad hoc. If you don't have them necessarily at the ready. Okay, so I've got a little bit more interest going on here with the embossing. Hopefully you can see that. So that's going to go onto there, and that's going to go onto there. So I think I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals as well. And I'll put the tag on dimensions too. There we go. Still suffering from my paper cut from yesterday. There we go. So there's my base card. Here is my panel. Could have made it slightly narrower to give me a little bit more space, but I think it gives enough space to the tag that way round. So let me grab a little bit of that bumblebee ribbon that we used yesterday. Which is getting towards the end. I need to order, I'm sure we've got some new Calypso coral ribbon in the catalogue, so I need to order some of that. There we go, just like that. So I'm just going to tie this, I think. I'm not going to add a bow or anything, just going to do a little knot like so with that. There we go, and that's going to go up on there. Don't want to cover up too much of my design, as that was the whole purpose of this card, was to show off the punch. There we go. Just putting 6 on there just so it's nicely supported, especially as it's going on a textured base here. Hello, Carol. I didn't spot you joined us, I do apologise. There we go. So I am going to move it slightly to the right. And I do want to trim this a little bit because the ribbon is just incidental. It's the border I want you to see. So there we go. So there's a card using the border like so. I do have this one left. So I'm thinking what I might do is a card with a border down the side here, because I want to use up this cute little tag. It's just so sweet. So I'm thinking, or maybe one card with 2 borders down. So if I'm measuring that, then I know I just want really 2 pieces. 2 sets of punches. Oh, I can't get my words out tonight. I've not spoken to anybody today, apart from I've only spoken to myself all day. So let's have a look. So that will work absolutely fine. So I'm thinking I could leave it on there. This is the size of a card base, so I do need to trim it down. So let's just measure that. So I know if I want 2 complete sets, I need to be about 13 centimetres. So let's cut this piece as it's here. I'm sorry the colours maybe are getting a little bit monotonous because I've used the same colours, but hey ho. So that's the height that I need to punch 2 sets of leaves. So I'm going to have leaves down here on each border. So all I need to know now is that I can easily get 2 borders. So what I'm going to do is punch one side first, work out where my tag goes, cut the other side, and then punch it. Okay, so placing this in again, and this block here, oh, you can't really see it, can you? There we go. If I do it like that, where this central piece is where the edge of that punch will fit. So I know I don't want too much of a border at either side. So I appreciate you can't really see this. The other thing you could do is turn this over and have a look at this border. And if I slide it out, hopefully you can see where that will end. If I just move that out of the way, you can see the edge of my card. So what you could do is just literally punch a little way down from the edge. Yes, best to punch it straight down, not in the air. So more for my pot. And then I'm right-handed, so I'm just going to position this one here. And hopefully that didn't work. And that's because I turned it over instead of just lining up with this line here, because I only allowed a small border. Hey ho! So let's try that again, and I'm going to change colour. I decided I want some bumblebee behind that. So best laid plans, folks. Did I say 13? I think I did, didn't I? Right, so I'm going to cut one card base out first. Leave that aside. Okay. So it's going to be $13. Okay. Let's try that one again. More from a pot. Okay. So this time I'm going to concentrate better on what I'm doing. Take my glasses off. So there's an edge on this punch that I can see. You may not be able to see it as well. And I'm using that as my edge to work from, like so. And I could, if I wanted to, turn this over and punch in the same position from the top, and then I'll know that it will be spaced correctly from each edge. I think I'm going to do that actually. And then hopefully there will be a little gap in the middle. Perfect. Like so. I could also see when I was lining up that these were lined up correctly. So now I've got some little yellow leaves. Okay, so this is where my tag is going to go for this one. And so I'm just going to use my little ruler here . Just want to see where that came to. There we go. And I am going to trim this down close to the edge afterwards. There we go. Let's just try that out, see how we get on. So I say this does leave an edge here, so I can trim that down to make that more narrow if I wish. Oh, thanks, Jeanette. Okay, so put that on there. I'm just wondering what side I did that. That side. Okay, so I know that I can come in a little bit more than that, so I'm just going to trim a little bit more off. be funny if this went wrong as well, wouldn't it? Right, let's see. I know I'm amongst friends if I've got it all wrong. Okay, so I'm going to start again from the top, and I'm positioning this where I can see where the top of that border is. This one, ooh, that was a bit close, wasn't it? And then the same. There we go. Not too bad. In the scheme of things, there's my tag going to fit in there. I'm just going to trim this down a little bit, and then I might put some of the patterned paper behind it rather than stamp the edge. There we go. So let me have a quick look. So this is the coordinating patterned paper. So I want something relatively plain behind. So I've got that as an option. Or the Calypso. No, it definitely needs to be more contrast, doesn't it, than that. Or there is some navy, but that doesn't match what I've got on my piece. So let me just see if I've got a smaller piece of that jade. What's on the reverse of it? The navy blue. Of course, it'll be everything except that one. So I'm going to cut this the size of a card front, 10 centimeters. By 14.35. There we go. So this time I'm going to put my ribbon on, and I can put this onto a Calypso card as well, or Bumblebee. I think I'll do Calypso. So all these 3 tags, the one I used yesterday, the 2 I used yesterday, these ones here, no, this one, this one and this one all came out of an A5 piece of card that I'd added the strips to. There we go. I know I've wasted a bit of ribbon, but hey ho. Okay, let's pop that onto there, like so, and then I might stamp a sentiment, and I could cut out a flower to put on there, but again I don't really want to cover it up. Put a little bumblebee or something. Let's layer this card up as it is, and then I'll decide. So if you've got any brilliant ideas, let me know. And sorry I've gone on so late. So there's that layer there. I've got some seal here. Can use to pop that on. You don't need a huge amount of this. So there's my card base, there's my layer behind. This is going to go onto there, and I think I might put that through the embossing folder as well. Now I've found all the components. Let me just see if I've got other folder I could use for that would be a little bit different, because we've got one with leaves on. I've got this one from the greenery that's got leaves top and bottom. If you can see that, really, you can't. I don't think you can. This is nice, this panel, but it doesn't look as nice going over the cutout, so I'm rejecting that. Sorry, greenery. However, its neighbour is very similar to this one, so I'm going to risk that pattern. Bear with me. Just run that through. There we go. I need to go through my embossing folders, there we are, and see which ones are still current. Okay, so here's that. I don't know if you can see that design on there. This is mimics this one completely. There you go. And then that's going to go on the top, and maybe I'll think about what I'm going to put on the bottom. Right, let's add some dimensionals for this, and I'm going to put some small dimensionals in these corners just to support them. I'll trim a little bit down. So this is our foam sheet, and when you can't find your little dimensionals, it's perfect for cutting into tiny little strips. It's always the way. If you're looking for a small dimensional, you can only find large ones, and when you want large ones, you only find small ones. Right, put that on there. It's a little bit overkill, to be honest. But hey ho. It's Tuesday. So why not? So we'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday morning. I think I will introduce you to a new set tomorrow. Okay, so just going to peel this off like so. So if you have any questions about what I've used, just ask now or pop in the comments. Oop. I do need to check if those whether those embossing folders have retired. Actually, I think Tasteful Textiles is okay. It's the subtle ones that went. Okay, so that's the background, and this is going to be my tag. So I think what I might do is position it slightly high, like so. Stamp a small sentiment going across this bumblebee piece here, because that's quite well hidden anyway with the bumblebee backing. Let me find the pieces of card I had here not a second ago. There they are. Put your glasses on, Jenny, you'll find them. Like that. And I think this one is just going to have a hello on it that fits in the middle. Again, from Blossoms in Bloom, it's got this nice little hello. That one there. And I think I'll do that in Calypso Coral again, just because I've got it here. I could do it in Just Jade, but the Calypso Coral is quite a nice deep colour anyway. It's one of our bright colours. Like so. And then let's see how much I need to cut off of here. So I'm just going to make that even either side, and I'll just pop that on there. I think I'll do it flat. Or not. Not. There we are. I really need to do this in about 1.5 times the speed, don't I? Or indeed twice the speed, and it would take half the time. Okay. I'm definitely going to put it the right way up though. So there's my little hello onto there, and do that flat because this is quite textured. Just going to pop this flat on because I have got two levels of dimensionals. I've got dimensionals behind here and behind my hello. I'm going to do that straight, just slightly high of centre in terms of the centre of the tag, like so. There we go. And I might just add one of our bumblebee trinkets which I have here. They're so cute, and I think he would sit nicely on there. I could add one on our little tag as well. Why not? And they're easy to fix just with a little bit of glue. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue. You can use a glue dot if you have one to hand, but these are quite heavy metal. But if you just give that time to set, it will hold that, no trouble at all. So I've got that one there, and let's pop one just on here at the top there. And it's easier to put the glue on the surface you're putting it onto than hold on to the bumblebee, add the glue and then try and transfer it down without getting glue on your fingers. Just going to bring that over the edge. So there we go. So that is Sweet Symmetry Papers. The I think it's called Symmetrical Petals Punch. That one's 15, and then we've used mainly the papers in this one. No stamping of the stamp set, but the stamp set itself is 16. But you can buy the stamp set, the papers, the punch and the coordinating ribbon for £46, which I think is a really good value sweet. So there we go. So anybody who's hung out long enough to finish with me, thank you so much today. I know there's other things going on this evening, which is why I know quite a few people have hopped off to join some other crafting sessions, so that's absolutely fine because they know they can catch up with me later. So here I've got a whole series of punches or punched out pieces, so they'll stay in my little tub until I want to do something with them. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you like our final designs. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll be crafting here at 10 AM and I'll choose a brand new stamp set to use. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a good evening. Thank you so much for watching. Look after yourselves. Look after your loved ones. And I'll catch up with you soon for some more crafting. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.